Hello, everyone. So, as they introduced, I'm so and so, but a girl next door to you to talk about my perspectives on climate emergency, I would call, not the climate change anymore. And this is my perspective on individual responsibility. So, being a trainer and an ethic entrepreneur, I'd like to show a light. Like, did you think climate change is new to Earth? Well, the answer is no, not at all. The Earth has glaciated, deglaciated, even seen 5 mass extinctions here on this Earth. If that's the scenario, why are we blaming and bragging and doing everything about this time's climate change? Why are we doing this time? Let me tell you why. See what we have done. All the other time, when the climate change happened, it wasn't because of a predominant species on this earth. It was because of other external forces or Earth by itself, like an inclining orbit or an asteroid strike where we lost our dinosaurs and so on. It wasn't because of the activities of a predominant species. But look what we've done. Our carbon dioxide levels are 100x than it was before the previous decades. The last 50 years, we have made it to 440 parts per millennium. Is that so bad? Like, are we doing so selfish and so bad? Yes. Not only that, look what we've done. Our fishing nets are now 5 kilometers deep. We are trawling the seafloor because we are selfish, because we are dependent on our food. Yeah? Isn't the panda family so beautiful and cuddling? But see, what global warming has caused to its species. The corals, of course, my favorite. The rainforest of the ocean. Isn't it so colorful and beautiful? This is what global warming is causing to it as well. So, is that the global climate, like the global warming, the only thing that is actually so devastating and not good? Now, I request the viewers to close your eyes. Imagine a beautiful river stream. Isn't it so beautiful? So natural and so overwhelmingly good? This is how a river stream is looking right now because of our selfishness. Like, we threw it, we aren't responsible. We aren't taking the responsibility. But what we do, like every one of us, it's the human nature of ours to blame the other person. The big speakers, the big climate activists also, most of the people, like even individuals, blame on the organizations, big organizations, governments, and the others to take action for this. Like, why would I? Like, why should I take? Let them do. Let these people do. They are responsible retrospectively. But I want you to stop there and think, who are they? Excuse me. Aren't those people a culmination of individuals? Isn't government run by an individual? Isn't an organization headed by an individual? It is not the organizations, it is the individuals. So, actually, and the next contradictory point is here. Who are we? So if that is an individual, like it is an individual responsibility, again it becomes. Like taking it positively also becomes an individual perspective. The world runs on an individual perspective. If so, excuse me, who are we? Okay. Aren't we, in my perspective, aren't we nature as well? If the other species on this earth is a natural living being? If it is nature, aren't we nature? Aren't we spoiling the nature as well? Is that a contradiction between a nature and a nature? And I also want the viewers to think, why are our species special? Look, we are not the dominant species. The trees and the greens are. We are not the most apex creatures on the adaptability. Then who are we? I'll answer this in the preceding slides. Till then, think, who are we? So here comes. As a natural lover, an entrepreneur, a responsible individual, this has always haunted me. Like, what can I do from my perspective? Like, before an entrepreneur, before being anything, what can I do about it? Do you know what I did? I did the bare minimum that I could do. Like using public transports, eating less meat or no meat, like small things. And I do teach people about sustainability. Because that is from my individual perspective, is what I can do, a bare minimum. So, it was one fine day on a pandemic, and I was taking tuition for a little kid. So, here comes my favorite subject, environment again. So, I was teaching him about how human actions are selfish and what it is doing to the other earthlings over here. And the kid started crying. So, I was a little bit nervous because we can't send home crying like you all know. So what happened is I consoled him. I taught him what is the bare minimum things that he could do to whatever the thing that can be reduced. So, excuse me. The next day, I had his mom accompanied with him, complaining that, see, he's not allowing anyone in the home to litter anywhere. He's not letting us to do anything actually that you taught yesterday. So not using plastics and so forth. And he is adamant about his responsibility. And you know what? I was happily shocked for both. So that is the moment of realization for me, actually, that it is a lot harder to teach a grown-up polluter or even a responsible person. And that is when I decided the chief apex responsibility of an individual is to raise the next generation sustainably responsible. So this is from an individual perspective. This is the bare minimum, yet very, very, very beautiful thing that one person from an individual perspective can do. To teach them right, to teach them to not be selfish, and to include every other earthling on this planet. But here is the check. I think we shouldn't do it by reading it from books. We should do it by leading in actions. So, I had a wise man who always says, exemptions cannot be examples. So why this quote right now? If you ask me, what from an individual perspective that I can do to lead a kid? Like, I can't afford a lot of money. I can't do this. I don't have time. Let me show you something. Look, if the pollutions and everything is also done by humans, there are also people who wants to take action. It was done by an individual even if you don't believe in. Right? So he has cleansed an entire lake completely with his invention. Right? So the next example was a couple who had actually converted a barren land into a wildlife sanctuary. So if an individual can do this, why can't you? Like, everybody has their potential. Yeah. So here comes it. So what an individual can do. Just ask yourself what an individual can do. Like, there are a number of things, right? We can use the public transport, eat less meat, and so on and so forth. we'll get one answer to reduce the carbon emission. But also, another wise person in my life said, when you actually change the question, what are all an individual can do? When you change the question from what can you do to what can an individual, what are all can an individual or you or I can do, does make a difference. You will get an enormous answer. So it's not about you or me, it is all of us from an individual perspective of what we can do. So yeah, coming back to the question, what makes our species a great species on this earth? Like, we are contradicting with the nature, right? So we want everything different and all these things. You know what? It's actually usage of energy that makes us a predominant species right now. So we use the energy right from burning a wood, like right from inventing a fire to even sustainable resources right now for our energy. Think of it, we are pre-digesting food by cooking it. We're not even swallowing it, we are just cooking it and pre-digesting it, saving our energy for do something else. So this is what you are capable of. You can use your energy wisely. Excuse me. Yeah. And if you're an entrepreneur like me, so numbers is always important. So if you think some of the numbers is very important on a day, look at the climate clock, the countdown. So we barely have 7 years to go to irreversible climate change before we could take actions and make a little bit more extension. I can't say that we can stop climate change because it's a natural process. Humans are catalysts who are doing it. But we can extend the timeline. That is what I'm talking about. So we can extend the timeline. Another year, another year, another year. That could be sustainably for our children, for the other Earthlings' children over there. Act responsibly. All I want here is to act responsibly. Use your energy wisely, because as a future mom, a future aunt, and a fellow Earthling, I am, and a collective of people are worried. And remember, children do learn, but they copy us. Thank you. Vaishnavi.